What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be showing you Jeff's Garett Brett 5-dot card. Now, a little bit of a history lesson. In UniVersus, the top prize that you can get for winning a major is you get your likeness made as a card. So this is Garett Brett. You can see him up on the screen, and we're going to be talking about him. He's won 5 pieces of cardboard. So if you're interested in learning how to play the game, this is one of the prizes you can make. A whole deck based around you. Let's jump into the profile. All right, so this is Garett Brett 5-dot. He's a character that Garett Brett got to make. The elevator pitch for this deck is he constantly wants to start his turn with less foundations than you because he gets the most out of his ability, and then he commits himself to get a bonus for however long the game has gone. He gets a bonus for every 10 card in my opponent's discard pile. So if they've got he gets either 1 damage or 2 speed, and if it's blocked, you get to ready him back up. So depending on what it is that you're trying to do you need the thing not blocked, or you want them to use extra resources? Let's do it for speed. Do you want to make them suffer because they're not blocking and not letting me ready my character? Well, then let's give it some more damage. Really cool stuff on side of Garett Brett. Let's jump into the profile though. So we're going to talk about the actions first, just because I think they lead cadence to what Garett wants to do, and then we'll jump into the attacks. So the elevator pitch is we want to just value city as much as we can. How valuable can we make our cards? What can I turn a +1 into a +2, a +2, and a +8? So let's cut loose, enhance. Remove, add a foundation from my discard pile to my card pool. So the cool thing about Garett Brett is if I've got less than foundations in you, I'll play the Let's Cut Loose. I'll respond to the Garett Brett. After I make my check, I'll draw a card. I get to place a foundation or asset down if I've got less foundations, and then I get to add 1, draw 1. So this with Garett Brett becomes like a build 1, draw 2, or just a draw 3, which is, really strong. We're playing 4 Throw It Down to kind of do the same thing, but on our turn. I'll play Throw It Down as my first form. It doesn't count towards progressive, and then I will draw a card, add a card in order to be it's really easy to be aggressive on turn 1 with Throw It Down. Like as a turn 1 play, I can just play Throw It Down, get to draw the card, build a card, since my opponent has foundations and I don't, and then I get to play an attack and try and get even more value off of it, because if Throw It Down deals damage, I get to draw cards. That's it for the support cards, and so now we get to just move into the attacks. Like I said, the deck's all about value city. So imagine playing a Sword Get Longer, and then respond to Garett Brett, build a foundation, and then Sword Get Longer. I will then proceed to enhance, build 3 foundations off the top of my deck. There's a lot of really strong stuff that happens with Sword Get Longer as we are playing a 5-hand size character. Just build 3, Desperation 4, safe weapon, 6 mid for 6 that we can give extra stats. It's just a really thick card that just gets, once again, just gets value. The next attack is the combo piece with Sword Get Longer, which is Spirit Sword Thrust. It says enhance, add up to 3 face downs from your staging area to your hand. This attack is +1/+1 for each one added that way. And so we get to build all these face downs with Sword Get Longer and then pick them back up with Spirit Sword Thrust and then play them out as Garett Brett, either as I play cards or as the turn just proceeds. And so we've got a 6 mid for 6 and then an 8 mid for 8, possibly more with Garett Brett if we choose to use it. So really solid stuff. Just good 1-2 punch. Spirit Sword Thrust, Sword Get Longer. Up next, we've got 4 Nutcracker. Nutcracker's just, once again, it's just value. The good symbol's all about value. It says draw a card. It says plus extra damage. It says breaker 2. And the way that Garett Brett works is it actually works on block as well. So imagine I'm going to check my Nutcracker, respond after I play my card. I'm going to add the top card of my deck to my hand, and then build a foundation because they have more foundations than I do, and then respond breaker 2. And so I got to kind of filter draw, build an extra card for more defense, and then Nutcracker it away. Really cool stuff. Up next, we've got 4 Keiko's Slap, and the reason Keiko's Slap is so good is either it is a turn ender or a turn extender. I think this card is super relevant inside of the good symbol, especially if you are playing the next card, which is 4 Spirit Shotgun. This is the way that we get the job done. So this deck wants to live a little bit in the long game. I want my opponent to actually get to like 20 or 30 cards in their discard pile so that whenever I Garett Brett, I can enhance, commit, and give my Spirit Shotgun +6 speed. +4, +6 speed. And 8 mid for whatever shotgun's going to be, which all of these cards have a ton of more keywords. Throw It Down has 2 keywords that match. Let's Cut Loose has 2 keywords that match, but that won't stay in the card pool. This has 1. Nutcracker has 2, and so giving it 4 to 6 speed plus all the extra damage as the 3rd or 4th card, especially as Keiko Slap let us go off. This card just ends the game. It just ends games. Super simple. So that was all the attacks. Like I said, value city. I want to just get as much out of the attacks as possible. I want as many moving parts, and then sure to make sure that Garett Brett works his machine the best that he can. You can see what a big boy he is. He's so jacked. All right, so next we were talking about Confronting Jeddah. Confronting Jeddah works really well with Garett Brett because it says enhance +2, 4, or 6 damage, and then Confronting Jeddah says, speed, and then Confronting Jeddah does damage. And so this is just a 1-2 punch of +X, +X. Easy enough. Because we are playing Spirit Sword, or Sword Get Longer, we're playing 3 I Have a Sword in case we don't see the combo of the Spirit Sword Thrust. Just after your attack deals damage, add a face down back to your hand. This counts for any of these that say flip, but we just want to pick something back up. I'm playing double 1 with Nature. I want to be able to discard a card and make sure my block is harder, so maybe this uses the block modifier and then use Garett Brett for the extra damage in order to make sure that I'm getting the most bang out of my buck. Make sure that they don't block, I get extra damage off of Garett. Playing a 4 Folktale Storyteller. The thing about Garett is since he perceivably wants to be behind or gets a bonus for being behind, he's a little burstier. He wants to be, and so I actually want to be able to just like play the Folktale Storyteller, respond with Garett Brett, add 1 down, respond, add 1 down, add Folktale down, and so like I caught up really quick and I got to cycle draw and I got to see a bunch of extra stuff. Like there's something to be said about being able to appear weaker than you are, and Garett Brett, the player, is very, very good at that, is lulling you into a false sense of security of like, no, you should go ahead and come and attack me, and this character represents him as a player in a really, really good way. We're playing 3 Burning with Revenge. This is a beautiful ad for the Nutcracker decks, especially under good or good or all. And so you add this in with Nutcracker, you enhance, give it 2 more damage, and then build it down. So we drew a card, give it +6 damage if your opponent is male, and then add an extra card down. Really, really good stuff. Same thing, but with Sense of Morals, as opposed to getting extra damage, this one just doesn't count towards progressive and just stays in your card pool. Really solid ability whenever we get to mix it with Let's Cut Loose, and we can just build this bad boy down. Playing double Passing the Torch. We are a 5-hander, and sometimes we don't want to be a 5-hander. And so on our turn, whenever we play a card, just being able to add this down into our staging area and then just commit and draw an additional card, get extra resource. The more resources you have, the easier it is for you to deal with problems that your opponent has. So Garett gets to burst resources into his staging area, and then now this card gets to burst resources back into our hand. Playing one Wandering Pirate. Any of these cards that say commit a foundation to do a cool thing, we then get to, after this is committed or readied, we get to ready a different thing twice per turn. And so this card could accidentally be like draw 4 if we feel like it. Playing double Keiko's Aid. Sometimes you just want your opponent to stop attacking you, and that's all this card says. After you block with something, you get to make it happen. So it's really interesting, cool play that you can do. Is let's say that I block with this Bakery Poster Girl, right? I'll block with the Bakery Poster Girl, respond with Garett Brett. I play this card. I'll add this Keiko's Aid down after I added the top card, and then I'll respond to the Keiko's Aid and get to do it. It's kind of like as many hand traps as you can find. This is just some neat interactions that we can do inside of Garett Brett. Really meticulous deck. Cool stuff. Playing double Kieran Soul, having answers in your hand, and then just have a perfect block. Just if you block it, no damage. Really combos well with Keiko's Aid. No damage, and your next one's harder. Quit attacking me. Double Bakery Poster Girl. Like I said, sometimes it's just worth it to just add these cards from your hand to your staging area, and this card just does that. Enhanced commit -2 speed. I think every deck should be playing speed hate right now. There's no reason for you not to be. And this card just says enhance commit -2. It's also really good spam, meaning it's a 1 or a 0 difficulty foundation, so you can build out on turn 1 really well. Double most trusted assassin. We do have a kind of low health for a 5-hand size character, but being able to look at my opponent, one card out of my opponent's hand, and the knowledge that we get off of that ability might just be enough to make sure that I know what to keep in my hand or what I'm allowed to build down or so on and so forth. Or when do I get to attack? My opponent has 2 cards in their hand. Well, I'll look at one of them. All right, is it time to go in? Oh, that card's a no block? Yeah, probably I'm going to go in. Knowledge is power. Double overly dramatic. This card's just statted out of its mind. A response flip after my opponent pretty much does anything in the game, just cancel it. Speeder damage or anything the ancillary effect that affects speeder damage. Playing double pursuing a vendetta as a 5-hander, it's really tough whenever my foundations get removed from my staging area, especially when I'm doing some cheeky stuff to add them in. I want them to stay there, or I need to bring them back. And so this card just protects our life just a bit. Playing double protecting the protector for the same reason we're kind of playing pursuing a vendetta. Whenever a card would leave my staging area, I want to make sure that it stays there. And so discard a momentum and then keep it where it's at. Keep it there. Keep it there. Playing double wishing ward. This card mills cards into my discard pile so that Nutcracker works a little smoother and is really good for momentum denial. Some of the easiest ways to die in UniVersus is to have your opponent just accidentally powerful you to death. And as a 5-hand size character, powerful is really, really strong just because I have to be very selective with my blocks. And the last card, the cheekiest card I think in the deck, is Refuse and Let Go. I will totally block with this Wishing Ward. I'll respond with Garett Brett. Since you've got more foundations than me, I'll add this auto block down here. Well, now you have to deal with the Refuse and Let Go that you didn't calculate on this turn. Really, really neat stuff. All right, you guys. So that was Jeff's Garett Brett 5-dot deck. Let him know what you thought of the deck down in the comments down below. Like I said, he's a champion. This is a championship level card, and so make sure. I'm positive Garett Brett's gonna check this out. Let him know how you guys liked his cards. If you want to see the deck in action, make sure you go out to the DLC and More Campus Championship we filmed out here on the channel. The playlist will be in where the playlist lives. If you want to have a talk with me or Jeff about any of the decks that we have out here, make sure that you go out to patreon.com/TCG University, subscribe at least the $1 level, and you'll get access to the Discord where we can have a big, long chat about how cool Garett Brett 5-dot is. So, from all of us here at TCG University, thank you very much for watching, and stay learned.